and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. Today we're going to be talking about breastfeeding. More specifically, I'm going to talk about what exactly helped me in my journey. My daughter is 2 months old. She's exclusively breastfed, but she does receive 1 bottle of pumped milk every day, roughly. So I am pumping as well and kind of building my freezer stash as well. We struggled at the beginning, and so I really felt compelled to talk about some of the things that we went through, but also just provide words of encouragement and tips and tricks and what has helped us get to where we are now. She's never had formula, which I am so incredibly proud of. Breastfeeding is so hard at the beginning, and like mentally, I think it's where it hits you the hardest, I feel like. Obviously it's a huge physical toll as well, but when you become a mother and there's societal pressure and pressure from the nurses and healthcare providers, it's a lot. So we're going to talk about kind of breaking through some of those things and doing what you have to do to have a successful journey. So one of the most kind of, I don't know, it's not controversial, but it's got like a bad rap for some reason, and that's using a nipple shield. This saved my breastfeeding journey. You probably can't see it very well. So this is a nipple shield. If you don't know, literally you just place it on your nipple. There's a couple of things that I think that it can be used for. Number one, when you're breastfeeding at the beginning, not everyone has the same experience, so this is my experience. Breastfeeding at the beginning, pretty painful, just because you've got a baby on your nipple pretty much around the clock. And so for me, this helped kind of ease that discomfort. Another thing that I think it's like frowned upon for some reason, but here I am 2 months postpartum, 2 months into my breastfeeding journey, and my baby no longer needs to use a nipple shield and she's got a great latch. This right here helped us get her like latched, because like many moms, getting the baby to latch and have a deep latch, it was a struggle, and it took us a while to get there. But I used a nipple shield, and I really feel like this helped me get her to have a good latch. And also those days where my nipple felt like it was going to fall off, use the nipple shield. I don't know why it's like considered a bad thing in breastfeeding. It is wonderful, and we no longer have to use the nipple shield. So we've moved through it, and I think that's kind of the goal. But there's no shame in using the nipple shield as long as you need to use the nipple shield. So for us, I used it on both sides for several weeks. For me, each side is a little bit different. She latched a little bit better on this side, and she struggled a little bit more on this side, and so we used the nipple shield on this side for a little bit longer than we did on the other side, which, who cares? She's still latched, it's still breastfeeding, we're still good to go. But I think we used nipple shield on this side up to like 5 or 6 weeks postpartum. And now we do not have to use the nipple shield. She's got a great latch, really strong latch, and that was really helpful to me in my journey. So if you need to use a nipple shield, there's no shame. It probably saved my breastfeeding journey, and I think that it can for a lot of women. So I would highly recommend looking into a nipple shield and not having any shame in that. The next thing that really helped my supply in my breastfeeding journey was triple feeding. At the very, very beginning, we don't do that now. My supply is much more regulated now, but at the very beginning when I was trying to build my supply because I was panicked that I wasn't going to be able to feed her enough. We would attempt to feed on each side, and then after that I would pump. And that just kind of told my body to continue to produce. And in my opinion, that really helped my supply, and my supply is good to go. I'm a slight overproducer now, so I make enough to put a little bit back in the freezer every day, and I'm very grateful for that. So definitely would recommend triple pumping at the beginning if you're really concerned about your supply. And in order to do that, you're probably going to want some sort of pump, whether that's a manual pump or a hands-free pump, or even just like the Haka pump. Hand expressing is an option too, especially at the beginning when you're not going to have a lot coming out. Triple feeding just at the beginning, and we only did it for probably like 4 days, so you're in the trenches for a few days there, and then it gets a lot better once your milk actually comes in. So definitely would recommend that. If you are planning on pumping and or bottle feeding, whatever, that's still considered breastfeeding, it's breast milk, I would recommend having a hands-free pump that you can literally just put into your bra and pump that way. That has really saved me my sanity, not having to be hooked up to a wall or a plug at all times. Literally, you can get up and move around. One thing I think a lot of people do is they feed on one side and then have the Haka on the other. I actually did that for a while, and now that I'm 2 months into my breastfeeding journey, I really actually don't like the Haka. I feel like it puts too much like pressure on my nipple and it kind of hurts after that. So what I do instead is I latch her on one side and then I put a hands-free pump on the other side, and I just pump while I'm feeding her on the other side. And I do that for my feeds throughout the morning, or if I feel like I'm really full, I'll do that. Typically for me, my supply kind of tapers down towards the middle to end of the day, which is pretty normal. And she also kind of cluster feeds. So I don't always do that at the end of the day. But the beginning of the day, I pretty much always have a hands-free pump on one side. So that I feel like has helped me. Another thing that has been an absolute lifesaver is this nipple butter. So I just got this at Walmart. It's the brand Earth Mama Organics, and it's just their nipple butter. You're gonna want something probably to put on your nipples. I'm 2 months into my journey, and I use this multiple times a day. Yeah, it really helps. For me, this is kind of graphic, but breast milk is sticky, and so when you have a little bit of breast milk left on your nipple and you put like your bra on or like a nursing pad on and it dries, it kind of gets a little stuck to it, and then it hurts when you like pull it off. So definitely recommend nipple butter to eliminate that from happening. And then also it's just really soothing to your nipple. I don't know, it's kind of weird to talk about, but this has been a lifesaver for me. Another thing that I use on my journey is nursing pads. I like the reusable ones. I feel like the disposable ones wad up in your shirt or in your bra, and it just, they're loud and they just like wad up in your bra. So I don't really like the disposable ones, but I do use them when all of my reusable ones are dirty. So you literally, I think I think this is the Lancino brand. I got them on Amazon. I think it was like $10 for, I don't know, a 5-pack, 5 pairs. I don't know. Pretty inexpensive. Just pop that in there. That helps prevent your bras from getting too dirty, and then also to catch any leakage. I personally am not a huge leaker. Even in the middle of the night, I don't leak that much, so definitely would recommend those. And then the next thing that I have, actually did not like these at first, but now that I'm further into my journey, I definitely use them from time to time when my nipples are like really sensitive. So these are the off-brand of the Silverettes nipple, I don't remember what they're called, but it literally is just a little silver plate basically that goes over your nipple, and it just kind of protects it from getting squished. And this silver is supposed to have like healing properties. I don't know, it's nice and cold too when you put it on, so that's kind of soothing. Like I said, I got the off-brand from Amazon because Silverettes are pretty expensive. I have heard that the actual Silverettes brand is much better, but I don't have it. I just have this off-brand, and this off-brand did come with these like little silicone holders which you can put on as well, and that kind of prevents it from looking like just a nipple through your shirt. So I do use these from time to time when my nipples are particularly sensitive. I don't use them as often as I don't know, I don't use them as often as the nipple butter. Really just when my nipples are really sensitive and I don't want anything really touching them, I use these. So those are super helpful, but if I could recommend only one thing, it would be this nipple butter. Okay, next thing, and we're gonna get a little bit into some controversial territory, and that is bottle feeding. So I knew that I wanted to breastfeed, but I also knew that I wanted Hadley to be able to take a bottle so that I could get a break from time to time, and also so that other people could feed her when she was in their care. I'd heard way too many stories about breastfed babies refusing the bottle and no one else can feed the baby. I did not want that to happen. And there's this whole like nipple confusion controversy. We didn't have any problems. We introduced the bottle very like within the first couple of days of life, because I was triple feeding, so I was expressing, and then we would offer her whatever I pumped in a bottle. And at the beginning we were using Dr. Brown's bottles, which we have stopped using completely, and we've moved on to the thigh seed bottle, which game changer. This is insane. I didn't know I could love a bottle as much as I love this bottle, but we love this bottle. We're obsessed with this bottle. The Dr. Brown's bottles, because she's breastfed primarily and she was only getting like 1 bottle a day, she was like drowning herself in the milk because it would flow out the nipple regardless of if she was like actively sucking. And so she would like kind of choke herself, and then she'd have like milk squirting out the sides of her mouth. And we even had like the preemie nipples on the Dr. Brown's bottles, and we still had that problem. And so I am so lucky that this brand Thigh Seed actually reached out to me and wanted to send me this bottle. And turns out it's like the best thing ever. So very grateful. It is pretty expensive. It's like $29. You can get it on Amazon. I do have it listed in my storefront. I wish I had some sort of discount code. I don't know why this is not more well known and more widely used, but it should be. So first of all, it's a glass bottle, which we love. The nipple is extremely soft silicone. I mean, like, I wish you could feel this. So, so soft. The nipple itself has 5 small holes, and it also has, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is called. I don't know, it's like a air valve that kind of sucks the air out when the baby is drinking. So when the baby is actively sucking, it's like pulling the air out the bottom so that they're not going to get as much bubbles. And then it's also not going to flow out the nipple unless they're actively sucking. If you're researching bottles because you're planning on pumping and bottle feeding, I cannot recommend this enough. This is going to change your life. This is so good. Like I said, the flow really only comes out when the baby is sucking, which is so important. The 5 holes give it a flow more like what is actually going to come out of your nipple when you're breastfeeding. And then also it's just designed to look and feel more like mom. Cannot recommend this enough. This has changed our lives, seriously. We only have the 1 bottle. It's the only one we use. So anytime we have to give her a bottle or we want to give her a bottle, we give her the bottle and then we wash it. Yeah, so definitely would recommend this. I feel like this has helped eliminate nipple confusion. I don't know. I guess I understand the nipple confusion thing because the bottles they're flowing much faster and baby gets much quicker satisfaction. But this, I don't know, it's just amazing. So amazing. So that's really been a game changer for us in our journey. And I feel like any mother who is breastfeeding their baby and needing their baby to take a bottle needs to use that specific bottle. So those are all of my kind of tips and tricks for breastfeeding. One thing I just want to say, and I've said it already, but I just want to provide words of encouragement because it is so, so, so hard and everybody's journey looks different. And regardless of what your journey looks like, you're doing a good job. You're doing a great job. Breastfeeding can be so, so challenging, especially those first few weeks. And they are so hard. So hard. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. For me, I also have, I can't remember what it's called, but you get like an extreme wave of anxiety when you have a letdown, which has been an added kind of complication to my breastfeeding journey. I had it with my first as well, which I feel like contributed to me like not being successful with him breastfeeding. I was hoping that I wouldn't have it this time, but I do. I literally get a severe, intense wave of anxiety almost every time that I'm either breastfeeding her or pumping her. Sometimes it lasts just, 30 seconds while I'm having a letdown, and sometimes it lasts like most of the feed. So it's definitely been a challenge. Some days are better than others, but we're all in this together. We're all just doing the best we can for our babies. And if you're watching this and you're in the thick of it right now, you can do this. It's hard, and you're doing a great job. Okay, I hope that this video was helpful for somebody. Hopefully you feel like you're not alone in this. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, or you just want to talk about it, just leave a comment down below. I'd love to help you out, and I will see you guys in the next video.